Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel! By the way, this is Sir Mark and let's have a short review session in our subject PCK5. O para mas bibo ni siya, of course, natay padula. Okay? So, unsa man yung kailangan? You need to get a ball pen or a pencil and a clean sheet of paper. Okay, so isa-isahon ta ni siya og answer. Let's check kung ka-remember o kadumdum ba mo or tama ba yung mga tubag or answer ani nga mga pangutana. Okay? So para ma-challenge mo kani siya. Kung limara inyo ang mali, pasabot makauyab mo. Pero kung ang inyong mali kay 10 kabuok, pasabot nga kamo dapat ang first move. Or kung daghan kay magmali, more than 15. In short, single na jud mo. Char! Okay, so kana natong dula ha? So without further ado, let's get started. Based on Freud's theory, which operates when Jay lends his bicycle to his friend Anne who was crying for it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer for this one is of course super ego. So therefore, nakonsensya si Mark. That is why gihatag niya ang bicycle kay Anne. To what does Piaget's cognitive theory that the ability to determine that a certain quantity will remain the same despite adjustment of the container shape or apparent size refer? So of course, in Piaget's cognitive theory, we have these terminologies, but which among these is correct? The correct answer is conservation, because in pre-operational stage we have this what we call lack of conservation wherein the student or the pupil won't what cannot adjust his or her thinking. Like for example, na iduha ka baso nga tubig, they do have the same amount of water, pero ang isa ka baso gibali mo siya sa mas payat nga baso, therefore mas taas siya tan-awon. Kung sa lack of conservation, the child will think nga, hala, murag mas daghan ni kay mas taas man siya. So that is we call lack of conservation. Pero bisan pag ibalhin nimo sa taas nga container, may ng bata, ay pareha man na sila kay pareha man sila sukod kaganina. We call that one as conservation. A boy is closer to his mother and a girl is closer to her father. These instances are under 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your answer is Oedipal complex, pwede siya, but the question here is what particular stage? Answer is phallic stage. In phallic stage, under dira ang kanang Electra complex and Oedipus complex. According to John Piaget, animism occurs during blank stage. When we talk about animism, the child thinks that the inanimate objects has a life. The correct answer for this one is pre-operational. Why? Because in pre-operational stage, kung observe mo, ang mga bata, they are fond of having toys or kana mga stuffed toy, di ba? Like for example, nasa sila stuffed toy nga kanang hapakunin mo, may sila, ay, hapak ko, masakitan siya. Kana siya. Next, according to Freud, instincts under what mental dimension? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so instincts are under id. Okay? Next, teacher Rose begins a lesson on a basic dance position by demonstrating the arms and feet positions in slow motion and physically guiding her students through correct movements. The question is, with Vygotsky's theory in mind, what does teacher Rose do? Answer is scaffolding. Next, an adult who laughs at a 2-year-old child who punches his older brother is not an appropriate thing to do. For in this stage of the child's life, the child is blank. Di ba, we tend to laugh yun sa mga bata nga kanang maggara-gara, manumbag sila katawan na to. But actually, that is wrong. Because they might think nga, hurting someone or violence is a form of entertainment. That is why nganong di man nato sila dapat katawan, because they are still distinguishing right from wrong. Wa sila kabalo nga ang pagpanumbag wrong di ay. In Piaget's concrete operational stage in cognitive development, which refers to the ability of the child to perceive different features of objects and situations, toughness in stone, elasticity in rubber, etc. So, dalawa kasi yan. In pre-operational stage, we call this one as centering or centration. But in concrete operational, we call this one as decentering. In centration, ang child perceive lang siya og only one feature lang. But in decentering, more than one feature na iya makita. Next, teacher Mark asked his students to describe how their families celebrate holidays. A student can discover the people celebrate holidays differently. Which principle in cognitive development governs teacher Mark's teaching activity? Answer is social interaction is essential for cognitive development because through sharing in our class, we could be able to interact with our peers. In which order do the three important goals during childhood be attained according to Erikson? So, medyo tricky ning question. Always remember na yung nakabutang diri order. Therefore, from first pataas siya nga stage. Answer is trust, autonomy, initiative. Diba? Trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus shame and doubt. Okay? Initiative versus guilt. Which of these does not belong to Brunfenbrenner's microsystem? When we talk about microsystem, pinaka-direct nga influence sa tua. Answer is it family, peers, local politics, or school? Of course, pinakalayo is si local politics because under na siya sa macro system, dili sa microsystem. Which of the following does not belong to the stages of personality dimensions of Erik Erikson's psychosocial development during infancy and childhood? Of course, ang malaray labot diriya is intimacy versus isolation. Nga naman, kani siya kay para sa early adulthood diri ata ni pasok. Lain pud kayo no kung sa infancy and childhood na intimacy versus isolation. Wow. Next, which violates the brain-based principle of teaching. Each child's brain is unique and vastly different from one another. So asa may kanang murag against diri mga langga. That is making a left-handed pupil write his right hand as this is better. No. Kung left-handed siya, let him or her be. Kung right-handed siya, let him or her be. Why? Di na to pugson ang bata. Kung wala hun siya, pugson gid mo nga magtuo siya. No. Studies in the area of neurosciences disclose that the human brain has the limitless capacity. What does this imply, most especially in education? Answer is, of course, every child is a potential genius. Next, Miss Reyes observed that one of her students excels in activities requiring strength, speed, flexibility, balance, and hand-eye coordination. According to Howard Gardner, the proponent of multiple intelligences theory, such natural intelligence can be identified as, of course, klaro na kaayo, bodily kinesthetic. Learning styles refer to the preferred way of an individual how an individual process information. Okay, how about this one? If the student who learns best through verbal lectures, discussions, talking things through and listening to what others have to say, he or she is an auditory learner. Auditory, wala lang na siya nag-end sa kanang hilig, maminaw, listen, what also appeal po dira ang talking. Next, identify the ninth intelligence which is described as kanang mga utar bitaw nga, why are we ngano naman te diri? If you encounter that kind of student, under na siya sa existentialist. You question the existence. A child who is always quarrelsome to his peer and who has a short attention span is suffering from, always remember ang atoang keyword nga short attention span. Answer is ADHD or Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Mao ni sila ka mga hyperactive students and lisod ni sila mag-focus sa usa lang kabuta. Dyscalculia, numbers. Dyslexia, of course, answer is reading. Okay, so kakita na ba mo sa movie nga katong na si Asian? Katong bitaw movie, Indian movie siya. Every child is special. Okay, so kana siya, di ba? So ka-observe mo kato siyang bata dito is naa siya dyslexic siya, the same with Einstein. Na siya dyslexia. It is a condition manifested by different levels of impaired social interaction and communication, repetitive behaviors, and limited interest. So of course, mo ni sila mga tao nga lisod kaayo makipag-interact sa uban. Answer is dili na gina Down syndrome, ADD, mental retardation. Answer is autism. And we have different levels of autism. Basta broad kayo ni siya, and I guess you already discussed this one in your Prof. Ed 5. It is the disadvantage that occurs as a result of disability. Answer is handicap. Teacher Anis asked her pupils to draw the structure of a flower. Her lesson is therefore focusing on drawman. Therefore, they are moving their motor skills. Answer is psychomotor skill. According to Vygotsky, children construct knowledge through social interaction. So, sa man natong buhaton? We need to provide opportunity to learn with skilled peers or teachers. Or other term for this one is MKO, more knowledgeable other. Freud sexual, Erikson social. In Piaget's stages of cognitive development, what is the preschool age in which a child's intelligence is intuitive, able to make mental representation, and close to use of symbols? So, di ba we already discussed this one that in this particular stage, kung magpa-check og drawing ang mga bata, may sila, bisa pag maot kayo, may sila, ay, kani siya star, kani siya mountains. So, answer is pre-operational stage. Next, a person who has a painful experiences at the dentist's office may become fearful at the mere sight of dentist's office. Which theory can explain this? Katong gi-associate na nila mga butang. Answer is classical conditioning. Classical conditioning theory is always attributed, so kinsa man ang proponent ani? Si? Correct. Ivan Pavlov. Which among the following are the basic assumptions of behaviorists? Answer is all behaviors are shaped by environmental events. What makes operant conditioning different from classical conditioning? Datay keyword sa operant conditioning, always remember the word reinforcement, rewards, praises. The following are the key concepts of Edward Tolman, except unsa ra may labot sa idea ni Tolman. Reinforcement is necessary for student learning. Next, which law states that the connection between a stimulus and response is strengthened when the consequence is positive and weakened if the consequence is negative? Answer is law of effect. According to Oswald, one way to strengthen the student's cognitive structure is by using an instructional tool called, kabalo mo, siya ang proponent ani. Known siya for his advanced organizer. Which among the following is an example of law of closure? Siya, asa man dire? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answer is kaning food panda. Which among the following is the correct stage of information processing theory? Pinakauna is we have encoding. After encoding it, we now have the storage. And after storing it, we could be able to what? Retrieve it. Next, blank is the final or permanent storing house of memory information. Answer is not stocked, not sensory, not short-term, but long-term relationship. Char, memory di ay. Which among the following is the internal process of gaining attention according to Gagne's 9 events of instruction? So honestly, we were not able to discuss this one, pero gamay ra kayong items ang naani. Answer is reception. Camila displayed the content with distinctive features. Which among the 9 events of instruction does it fall? Answer is presenting the stimulus. So for more knowledge about these 9 events of instruction, so kindly see it in our Google Classroom. This describes the situation in which the new information you learn is an example of a concept that you already learned. So, actually, the answer key of this one is not correct. The correct answer for this one is derivative subsumption because it is a verbatim from the definition of derivative subsumption. Jerome Bruner and Edgar Dale agreed that for effective teaching and learning, teachers should begin with concrete. After concrete, we now have the iconic. After iconic, we now have the abstract or the symbol or symbolic. Which among the following is the correct arrangement of mode of representation? So again, we are going to start from inactive, iconic, and then symbolic. Teacher must revisit the curriculum by teaching the same content in different ways depending on students' developmental level. So therefore, there is increasing complexity. Answer is spiral curriculum. And the proponent of spiral curriculum is C. Jerome Bruner. It refers to obtaining knowledge for oneself through exploration. We let the students explore discovery learning. Mrs. Alonso, the principal of Mabuhay Elementary School, firmly supports the idea that the students have an active role in constructing their knowledge. Of course, obvious na yung answer, constructivism. Specific transfer, near. General transfer, of course, opposite to near, far. The following are the characteristics of constructivism except as labot diriya. Meaningful learning occurs within synthetic, no, dili synthetic, but authentic learning task. Okay, so those are the questions who served as our review in our subject PCK 5. So kinsa may nakalima ra og mali diri ah? Oh, makauyab na jud mo. Ang katong medyo dagan-dagan og mali. Okay, try again. Balikon ninyong tan-aw ni nga kanang usay tawag ani. Balikon niyo ning tan-aw nga video. Try na pud mo answer otro basin less than 5 na yung answer makauyab na gyud mo. Char sana all. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you will like this video, and aside from that one is don't forget to subscribe on my channel kay panagsan na lang kayo kung mag-upload. Char! Okay, again, this is Sir Mark. Thank you.